Hello, thank you for joining me today on this snowy March morning. We're going to do a quick video for the Ecosy Plus Panoramic 5 kilowatt wood burning stove. We're firstly going to run through regulations and then run through the actual workings of the stove itself. So this stove meets all current CE and British standard regulations. It also has a DEFRA approved option and meets the future 2022 SIA Eco Design regulations too. So in the papers recently, there's been quite a few different stories about wood burning stoves and about the emissions that they produce. This has thrown up sort of a little bit confusion amongst customers about what stove they require, people confusing sort of DEFRA approved with Eco Design ready approved stoves, which are slightly different. So currently in the UK, all you need to do is make sure the stove's CE and British standard approved. But if you're in a smoke-free zone like London and Manchester, you need to ensure the stove's DEFRA approved for smoke-free zones, and this also applies if you're installing a 5-inch liner or 5-inch twin wall chimney system. As of 2022, the regulations say that all stoves must be Eco Design ready and pass the new emissions test, which involves a reduction in CO, NOx, dust particulates, and a sort of in addition to the efficiency as well. This is obviously coming into place in 2022. It's not required now, and there's nothing in place to say that you're going to have to throw away your old stove. It is just for products being produced after that date. It is good to have it now, obviously, because it is a lot cleaner burning and you will save money on fuel because of the efficiency is so high on this product. But I hope this information helps. But if you do have any more questions about the actual regulations surrounding stoves, we do have information on the website, or just ask us by email or phone. So moving on to the stove itself. The stove is a slimline unit, steel body construction with a cast iron door. There's also a separate steel chamber inside the stove and a full fire brick lining and fire brick base too. All the air runs in from the rear. It then goes through these series of holes at the back, which is the secondary burn system. What that's doing is that's burning off the initial smoke and particulates produced from the fire high up in the chamber, preventing them from going up the chimney. It's one of the reasons why the stoves pass the DEFRA testing and the new Eco Design standards too. The air then travels up over the fire and then is forced down onto the glass itself. This sort of heating effect really helps to keep the glass clean and clear of smoke stains. When you've got a big stove like this with a huge piece of glass, you want to make sure it stays clean and clear to make sure you can look at the actual fire itself. So the stove itself is a wood burning only stove. So there's no grate or ash pan like you would do with a traditional sort of multi-fuel stove. All the wood just burns on the base with no primary air coming in underneath. All the air is flowing over the fire, and that is how wood likes to burn. So the air control on the bottom just closes fully off now, and you'll see the stove has just started to really die down and real reduction in the flames. Really good for if you're burning sort of for a long time, sort of day and night, because you will obviously use a lot less fuel when it's fully closed down. And this is the standard version. On the DEFRA approved version, there will be a mechanical stop added, which will prevent the full closure of this vent. So there will be constant air flowing into a DEFRA approved stove, and this will be for every single DEFRA approved stove on the market. And you'll see now the stove is almost going out because it's being completely starved of oxygen. And if we open it up again, you'll see a sudden rush to the airbed, and this will gradually get going again and start burning. So this is a 5 kilowatt stove, which means no air brick is required in the room, and you don't need to actually install the direct air feed as well, which is perfect for installers because you don't have to knock a hole into the room, which is why a lot of people like to go for a 5 kilowatt stove. With this one, you kind of got the best of both worlds because it's a big presence and only is still 5 kilowatts. So that's about it for today. If you have any questions, we will be more than happy to help. Thank you for watching.